Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original presented by Perplexity. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And looky here, it is Foxworth Friday. Domonique Foxworth, what's going on?
Not much, man. Happy to be back. And hopefully we can get a couple more this month. I know I'm going to be in New York soon.
I'm just saying, Domonique was like, I'm a little too busy these days to do it all the time. I said, cool. And I realized why he's too busy. He's doing everybody else's podcast too. That seems backwards.
How does he backwards?
Because nothing can do for you what this would do. Like, if you're going to do a podcast, I don't understand the need for variety. That doesn't make any sense at all to me.
I mean, there's exclusivity is expensive around here. And ESPN ain't paying for it. Perplexity ain't paying me for it. So we got to go shop around.
That's why Dominique's such a good dude. I tried to pay you. He was like, nah, I don't need the money. I tried to pay you so you wouldn't stray. So you wouldn't be doing this other shit. And then you say it ain't no money.
Oh, man. Maybe I got a wandering spirit.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all right. All right. I hear you. I feel you. It happens. Speaking of happening, the draft is happening next week. You will not be in Green Bay for the draft. Whose bright idea was this?
Yeah, I mean, it's come to, I think, what the draft is what we give to cities that can't have a Super Bowl. Right? That's like, and when you go to the draft, it's shocking how big a deal it is. And it's like, it actually turns out to be kind of a fun event for a city that's like a mini Super Bowl. It's like one of those type of sports events. For whatever reason, I don't know. And I think you and I are on the same page that I don't understand why fans by the tens of thousands go. Like, I don't get it. It's weird because like there is nothing more important to the success or failure of your franchise than the draft. But nothing ever happens there that automatically lets you know that shit is changing for your team. So like you don't know that you nailed the draft until a year later or 2 years later. You don't even know the names of the players that they're calling except for the top 5. Like, let's be real. Maybe we know the whole first round. Maybe some of us know a couple guys in the second round. But even us who do it for a living, I'm shocked by some of the names I hear in the third round.
Brother, here's my thing. If there are tens of thousands of people, and that is what there have been, okay?
It's crazy.
Tens of thousands of people who go to the draft. And look, you decide to go to the draft when it's in Las Vegas. It's a little bit different, right? Like, that's the one that's a bit of an exception. This is your excuse to go to Las Vegas, right? I understand you. I am currently actively looking for an excuse to go to Las Vegas.
You and me both,
brother. Yeah. Like, I like going to Las Vegas. Maybe we and you should just go, right? Like, we do have that option, right? I enjoy going to Las Vegas, but I typically like to, like, give me something, and I'm cool. I will go to Las Vegas. I get that. But these other places, right? Like in Nashville, for example, maybe you need an excuse to go to Nashville. You and your bridesmaids are going to go kick it for the weekend before you get married. Okay, cool. I understand that. Otherwise, if you are one of the tens of thousands of people to go to the draft in Nashville, that means that you are one of the tens of thousands of people to go attend the draft, which means that you are going to be around tens of thousands of people who would leave their homes to attend the draft. And brother, that is tens of thousands of people I don't want to be around. I might be down to be around a couple of you at any given point. And no shade to you if you like got all the magazines and stuff. My good friend Michael Smith, he's a draft dude. He really loves it, right? It's something that you enjoy doing. Okay, cool. You go ahead and do it. But if all I'm going to do is be at that sausage party, right? I am going to be surrounded by people who are dumb enough to attend the draft. Nah, man, I ain't going.
It's so like the Thursday night is just the first round, and it's an evening event. It's a bunch of names, you know. It feels like I could understand wanting to go to the Thursday night if you're a football fan, and most football fans can't afford to go to the Super Bowl or even probably, frankly, a playoff game. It's like a big, cool atmosphere. Like, I can understand that. But what shocks me is that there'll be people there on Friday and Saturday and like still tens of thousands of people there. And it's just like, I guess it's like a big ass tailgate, but it doesn't even feel like it's not spread out like that. You just stand on top of each other.
nothing with that many dudes, let alone those dudes, is a good idea. I don't even really understand watching the draft on Saturday. Look, the point that I make about the draft always is this. If you are invested in the draft because you are invested in a team, you can do all that studying and everything else, but in the end, it's just so you can be right about something, right? Like you want to be able to be the person to say they were right, because the bottom line is whoever they take, you gonna love them because you got no other choice but to love them. There's no fun in simply being a skeptic, right? Like you and I were Josh Allen skeptics because we ain't give a damn about the Buffalo Bills. If we was rooting for the Buffalo Bills, we would be looking for every reason for that big old ox to turn into a quarterback. And what do you know? The big ox turned into a quarterback. But we'd have been fixated and looking in on it. That's the it's a weird sort of function. But I will say this. I have found over the years, and I don't know if something changed or whatever, but I have found the draft to be kind of compelling television, more so in recent years than I had previously. I don't know exactly why, but this year has the possibility of being incredible television. And we will know whether it's good television or incredible television if everything holds to form at the 9th pick in the draft. Yeah. Because that is when the New Orleans Saints draft. And we just found out, apparently, that Derek Carr's arm is going to fall off. I don't know how this happened. It's his other arm, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, I honestly don't think that matters. But it's given us a reason to talk about it. But we've been nuked. Derek Carr ain't going to be there.
Yeah, right. But there's a different urgency to we need a quarterback right now versus we need to be thinking about who our quarterback is going to be. Okay. Yeah. But at the 9th pick in the draft, if the Saints do not take Shedeur Sanders, oh, buddy, what a night of TV. And I will just throw out there, Jalen Milroe was on the list of guys to attend the draft. Shedeur Sanders is not, which implies to me that the Sanders camp doesn't really know how this is going to go.
Or they do. Or they do. And they recognize that Slip and Slide Records is coming out with a track right around number 9, and Trick Daddy is going to start spitting. So, I think the media, I think in sports media, we do a fairly good job of talking about the things that matter. And then, of course, we go off onto these other tangents sometimes. But we do get caught in the traps of talking about and it's not even a trap, but talking about the things and people that are interesting, even if they don't matter as much as we want them to. And all the signs for Shedeur being interesting, but not having the traits that we've come to prioritize, they've been there the whole time. And Jalen Milroe is the perfect example of the other end of the spectrum. This what we've been doing, and I've been talking about it all of this draft season since the season ended. We have, and it's the Josh Allen effect. There's a couple other guys that are like him, but we can trace it all back to him because we all saw this guy who was not great in college, but had all the tools, turn into the MVP of the MFN league. And now people are like, yeah, I want one of them. It's possible. Anthony Richardson, owe Josh Allen some damn money. Trey Lance, owe Josh Allen some damn money. He out here getting y'all drafted, and it's about to happen to Jalen Milroe too. Now, Shedeur, on the other hand, he should be upset at Josh because they're not looking for the pocket passer who can dissect the defense and throw an accurate pass. They're looking for the guy who can't, no matter what the play is called, y'all can't stop it.
So here's what's interesting, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was Peter Schrager that I heard say that. The comp for Shedeur Sanders, not so much as a player, but as a prospect relative kind of to the draft he's in at the times and everything else, is Baker Mayfield. You go look back at it. It was a little kooky that Baker Mayfield went number 1, but Baker Mayfield was legitimately one of the greatest college players of all time and an incredible lights out college passer, right? Like you can go back and look at what he was at Oklahoma, and he overcame everything. He was a walk-on. He became the number 1 overall pick. That had never happened before. That will never happen again. That happened in the same draft where the last pick in that first round was Lamar Jackson and where Josh Allen floated down in that draft. I think Sam Darnold was in that draft also, right? You're not going to get there just on there's something about me. And that's the argument that you're making on Sanders is there's just something about him. What I am surprised by in a lot of the analysis is that more people aren't talking about the fact that he holds the ball too long, and that's not something that tends to fix. And he doesn't hold the ball too long, a la Russell Wilson, where he can run and make something happen, right? No. He's just holding on to the ball way too long. But if you think that you could take a guy that is not a physical outlier and that he can tool his way to whatever level of success that you think is necessary to take a quarterback in the first round, then bless your heart. You go ahead and do it. It doesn't feel like this is the league where people think that they can do it.
The window for success is so much smaller. So again, when you're getting a quarterback like that, you are saying that we have the perfect play call. He's going to make the perfect decision and make the perfect pass most of the time. That can happen when you get a player like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, and you point to that draft because that's a good example of the league waking up the next day or the next year and saying, never again, never again, never again will I let someone's college production or their pocket presence or their accuracy fool me into thinking that this is not a league about freaks. I'm going to get these freaks over here and we're going to figure it the hell out. And that's a good inflection point. I'll say this to make a little bit of a basketball parallel is as I'm looking at these quarterbacks who are in the leagues and the one that's coming up is there was a time when we thought the quarterback position was the point guard position and you wanted a distributor. You wanted a John Stockton or someone like that. Those days are gone.
Now you want LeBron James.
Right. We looking for a point forward now. We're looking for LeBron. We're looking for Luka. We're looking for something like that. Or even a score first one. Like, we're not looking for the guy that is going to set up Charles Barkley. We're not looking for Kevin Johnson. We're not looking for those guys. We're looking for a guy that will pass it when he needs to, but also is a damn problem himself. And so Shedeur is a classic point guard.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see, it depends how this all ends, right? There is an industry around the NFL draft, and there is interest in the draft 12 months out of the year. And as soon as the 2025 draft is over, there will be mock drafts posted for 2026. And what more people need to understand is they need to put at the top of those, and look, it applies to all of them, but especially those, they need to put at the top of those for entertainment purposes only, right? They doing it because y'all gonna read it and y'all just need a little something to do. It's a cool way going into college football season to have some understanding of who the people are because there's so many people. And so it's helpful to give a primer of who it is that we're supposed to pay attention to, right? But I saw Stephen A. Smith incredulous at the idea that for months people had talked about Shedeur Sanders as being a top 5 draft pick, and now he is sliding in the draft. It was literally almost as though he's never done this before. but he was just could not understand and was demanding that Lou Riddick and everybody else explain to him how it is there haven't been any games played, but somehow the perception of this young man has changed. And now the argument for that is they had the draft the day after the Super Bowl. But anyway, that's what he was throwing out there. But in those early mock drafts, Shedeur Sanders is so famous at that point. He's going to be in all of them because them things don't matter. They just some shit they throwing up there because people are going to read it. Like there's nothing binding about them in any sort of way. And so it winds up being bad news for somebody like him because they're going to talk about you at that level all the way through. And then when people actually get in there in the film and the NFL guys are like, whoa, I don't know about this, guys. And it looks like he's done something wrong when nothing has actually changed. Just the stakes of the observations being made by the people who produce the content.
Yes.
That's the part that has changed.
Yep. We're a lot closer to being able to hold your mock to what actually happens.
Yes.
And the people who are making the decision. So like as soon as the season ended, I started to watch more closely. And like I saw plenty of Shedeur games. And in those games, I walk away thinking, oh yeah, that guy's pretty damn good. And then when you go back and watch the games from a more like evaluating standpoint, you see that he throws a lot of short passes, and those numbers are boosted by that. And he actually throws on the run pretty well, but he does hold on to the ball a little too long, and he doesn't have it all gets back to the freakish ability to just erase any mistakes that your coach makes or that he makes or that the players around him make. He just doesn't have that. So it's hard to convince yourself that it's worth, if the ceiling of this player is a player who still requires a lot more help, then it's hard to convince yourself that he has to be at the top of the draft.
Think about it like this, and granted, there are a lot of other problems, but Johnny Manziel was a different caliber of college player than Shedeur was, and probably one would argue a bit more athletic, though not as big. And that boy was cheeks. Now, granted, some of his cheekiness was self-inflicted in a way that will not be with Shedeur Sanders, who appears to be quite responsible and will do the things that he is supposed to do.
Johnny Manziel was not like us. He did not look for a reason to go to Vegas.
Johnny
Manziel woke up and was like, did the sun come up? Oh, well, then I must need to go to Vegas.
I'm already on the way. Like, he ain't even calling to ask somebody if they want to come. He just showing up at your crib like, yo, you got a go bag, right? All right, well, we going to Vegas.
I don't even want to know what's in that go bag.
No, God, no. We owe nothing. But for the television, Domonique, once it goes past 9, and I don't know if you've seen this, like, I have been hearing about Jackson Dart. I was familiar with Jalen Milroe, and Joel and I talked about Jalen Milroe. The shock to me was realizing he's not very tall, but I knew, just like I knew that the Anthony Richardson talk yourself into it, which I did myself, I was going to happen. But at least Anthony Richardson had like film of him as a processor that made people feel good. The red flags for Jalen Milroe are your classic red flags, and somebody's going to do it anyway because he's so physically talented. But they dug up a white boy that I had never heard of, and I'm here to tell you, brother, he looks the part. I believe his name is Tyler Shuck or something like that from Louisville. Uh-huh. Now, he's 25 years old. Just throwing that out there. But I saw him. He's 6'4", looked like he about 230, and he runs a 4.6. And I was like, ooh. I'm going to just tell you this right now. If somebody takes him over Shedeur, if somebody takes Shedeur over him, know that young man stinks to high heaven, right? Like, the idea that it took so long for somebody to point him out to me indicates he must really stink. But I'm just telling you that to let you know there are people that may pop up over Shedeur Sanders that you have never heard of, and that is going to make for some incredible television. But he's not going to be at the draft. They're going to be a camera on him somewhere. Don't you worry.
The Jalen Milroe thing is funny because I was pointing to Josh Allen being responsible for changing a lot of young quarterbacks' lives who weren't good in college but had a physical presence.
Yes.
I think, man, Jalen Milroe timed this thing up with the Jalen Hurts run just right. Just right. It's like, I'm not a very tall, very athletic guy who has issues with accuracy and played at Alabama. Hey, you know what? Just won a Super Bowl. I can be that, right?
Yeah, except Jalen Hurts was a much better college player than Jalen Milroe is. Two thoughts right fast. Number one, that boy Jalen Rose really did change the world.
His mom, man. His mom is a bigger accomplishment than him.
Yeah, really changed. Look, I know Pablo did the thing that went through this. Now, just so people understand, good job for them for doing that report. But if you needed somebody to tell you this impact of Jalen Rose and his name on the world, you didn't need research. All you needed to do was go ask Jalen Rose, right? And all Jalen Rose is going to say to you is, who's the first Jalen you ever heard of? And you stop and you think about it and you're like, damn. And he really did it. Like, he did it partially for what you call them, the FBAs. But he really did it for the biracial mafia once you start throwing Y's in there. And you had all kinds of places you could put the Y. You could do the one Y. You could do the 2Y.
Oh, I'm not a fan of 2 Y's. Pick a Y.
Not a fan. No. Hey, man, like I said, 2 Y's. You say it's 2 Y's, I could draw a picture of the mama without even seeing her. And I can't even draw. You sit me down with a sketch artist. I'll give you a description and y'all will find the suspect. Y'all will be able to run it through a DMV database. And it may not be one, but you'll narrow it down.
I feel like one eye is covered by hair, I believe. It's
you know the slant. It's
a little slant over one eye. But
that is one of the archetypes that could potentially happen. I don't know if that's still happening no more. I don't really see so much of that these days. With the big old earrings.
Oh yeah, they stay at. I mean, I feel like AAU tournaments where it was always a light-skinned brother on the court balling, and then there was a swoop cut on the sideline.
Yeah. There you go. But the all them Jalen's there. But number two, we both know what Jalen Milroe's plan is once he gets to the league. Let all naysayers know.
Legendary.
Let them all know. Every single naysayer, naysayer you've ever seen, every naysayer you can find.
It's still okay. Like I feel like with things like this, they are awesome at the beginning. And then eventually somebody get a little too comfortable and it ain't no fun no more. Like it's still fun. No one's ruined it. If he has a great NFL season or something like that, I feel like it might get out of hand. There's gonna be some local city, whatever team he's on, that's gonna be really into the naysayer, and I'm not gonna like it.
No. Luckily it took a breather, and now it's the sort of thing that we can just pop up every now and then. Yeah. And he's not gonna be good enough, or get enough playing time. I don't believe. I hate to keep it so in the family, shall we say, but I don't see a huge difference between him and Malik Willis. Although Malik Willis, in the time that he got out there with the Packers, who went up there, who decided to show their true dedication to Jordan Love by getting him a black up. Malik Willis came out there and made some things happen.
If you don't think they would have printed up Lank shirts in Green Bay, if that was, it would have been a problem.
No, I don't think so. They don't care about the other one in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it had been David Bluff or Tom, what's his name? Tim Boyle, that's his name. One of them, that would have been front page news. That'd have been some sort of phenomenon.
Because you've brought it to my attention, the black ups, and we're well aware of it. I think the Ravens took a step that just suggests. I know Lamar didn't win the MVP again this year, but them going to get a white backup quarterback suggests that Lamar Jackson has reached a level of quarter blacking that has never before been seen. It's like he's so damn good, it don't matter.
While that is what the Ravens may believe.
No.
Totally possible.
No.
And I believe that they wholeheartedly believe that it doesn't matter after 2 and a possible MVPs, right? That, yes, this young man has quarterblacked his way to a level of security that we have never seen. However, giving white people too much credit has been the downfall of many a great man. We've all done it ourselves one time too many. And by the way, as I say that, there's some white person grumbling saying, well, giving the black quarterback too much credit. I've made that mistake before too. And hey, maybe you're right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're right. We just finished
talking about Anthony Richardson. Like, I feel like there maybe some quarterbacks.
Yeah. All I'm saying to you, Domonique, is if I were Lamar Jackson, I would continue to play excellently.
It's Cooper Rush too. Like
See. No. I don't like this at all. Because Cowboys won some games with Cooper Rush. Yeah. No. Let me tell you something. Deep down inside, man, there's a lot of them that don't really see no difference between Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray and throw another one out there. Tyrod Taylor. They don't really see too much of a difference. I'm just saying, if they was ready for Cooper Rush to take Dak's job, which happened, it could happen to you too, Lamar Jackson. It ain't like Lamar got all these playoff wins.
So the only point I'm making is you make a compelling argument. I'm not saying that he's immune. I'm saying that he played so well that a team that obviously is aware of this, a team that went so far as to have 3 black quarterbacks, a black quarterback coach, was like, we ain't even gonna put a white man in the room, so you don't get no ideas, because the quarterback coach played quarterback at one point.
Right. There's like when everybody walked into the quarterback room, that shit sounded like a step show. Everybody just dapping and slapping. You know what I'm saying? Like his hands up in the air. They doing designs with it. It look like they doing all kinds of twisted shit with their fingers. Right?
So they going all up. Is that organization believes that he is so good that they don't have to take it to account.
It has. I hope they're right. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is I really, really, really hope that they are correct.
I'm from Baltimore. And so I think the perception of Baltimore outside of Baltimore is accurate in some ways, but it's different than what you think. So I think people think of The Wire and they think Baltimore is a very black city, which is a pretty black city. However, there's a lot of white people who feel left behind. There's a lot of industry in Baltimore that is gone.
The Wire season 2.
Perfect. There you go. If you want to know what I'm trying to explain, it's that. And I think Stavros, the comedian, does a good bit about this, where it's like his friends and family are like, it's something about Flacco that I trust. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of that. It's dormant. To your point, it's dormant. But let Lamar lose another playoff game.
I like Stavy a lot. I'd love to have him on my show. I'm just not saying the name of his podcast on the podcast. I don't want to say that whether my mother listens to it or not. You boys need her. I had lunch with him. I had lunch with him one day with him and Charlemagne and a couple other people.
That sounds like a really entertaining. Well, who are the couple other people? I feel like they.
I mean, you know who put it together.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's a Tommy on the spot special.
Yeah. That's obvious.
I forget who else it was, but it's like I hate to catch up with Tommy. Anyway, coming up next, more right time. I had something I was going to talk to Domonique about, but then I forgot what it was. But come on, stick around with me. We be good. This episode is presented by Perplexity. Perplexity is an AI-powered answer engine that searches the internet in real time to deliver fast, clear, high-quality answers. Unlike legacy search engines that respond with a list of links, Perplexity skips straight to the answers you need, explained in everyday language that's easy to understand with sources and citations. Sean, how do you use Perplexity, especially when it comes to the right time?
You know, if you're a loyal listener or viewer of the show, you're already aware that we use Perplexity throughout the show on Mondays, especially when you need questions answered or stats confirmed. But Perplexity is great because, say, you're curious about a specific topic from our If You Haven't Heard segment. For example, this new species of dire wolf they just resurrected. I can search for more info about it and learn that this achievement marks the first reported case of de-extinction.
That's a crazy thing to learn about, but also enjoy seeing just how fast Perplexity got that answer for us. Discover faster, more reliable search with Perplexity today. Download the app or ask Perplexity anything at perplexity.com. Shout out to Dash Pass and their members-only deal for the 24-25 NBA season. They swoosh, you save. When any player scores 50 or more points in a game, Dash Pass members save 50% on an order up to $10 off. Sign up for Dash Pass and save more all year round with $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees on eligible orders, plus exclusive perks like this one. Use the promo code NBA50 the day after the 50-point game during the 24-25 NBA regular season from noon to midnight. Valid for Dash Pass members from noon to midnight the day after any player scores 50 points or more in a single game during the 24-25 regular season.
That's right. As a reminder, the offer is live noon to midnight the day after the game, and that is exclusive to Dash Pass members only. 50% off one order, up to $10 off. Offer valid from 9 a.m. Pacific time through 11:59 p.m. Pacific time after a 50-point performance in any game during the NBA season on orders placed at participating merchant locations. Valid only in the United States. Use promo code NBA50 to redeem. Terms apply.
Ready to win some real cash during the basketball playoffs? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition.
Hit all your picks and score higher, minimum payouts on Pick 6 Plus, even more cash if you outscore the competition. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. I made some picks last week that featured some of my favorite golfers competing in the Masters. You could join in and make your picks during the basketball playoffs. New players get 50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry.
Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Bomani. That's code Bomani for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Help is available for problem gambling. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer.
Hey, man. What's up with your boy, Aaron Rodgers?
Man, just want some attention, bro.
But I don't feel, is he really trying? I can't figure out what's going on here. For those of you who don't know, we all think that the Steelers are going to sign Aaron Rodgers, except for the fact that the Steelers haven't signed Aaron Rodgers. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think I'm guilty of this sometimes where I like try to attach logic to individuals, which it's always a bad idea. Like logic applies to like big groups, as you could be able to project out of 100 people that 50 of them going to do one thing or whatever. But saying that one person is going to do something because you believe it to be logical can often be a mistake, particularly if that one person is Aaron Rodgers. So my assumption is he going to Pittsburgh. Go ahead and take your ass to Pittsburgh. He trying to wait till after minicamp? Like, what are you doing? Like, if the Vikings wanted you, they'd have called you. Nobody's looking. Like, is that what he's waiting for after the draft? Or you know what he might be doing? Didn't he drop some news on draft day a few years ago, right? Because I remember everyone being annoyed that he tried to take over. So maybe he waiting for next Thursday.
Ooh.
So he can be all over the news again because he wants some attention.
I hadn't thought about this.
I didn't even until just now.
Great job. By the way, that was a great bridge to what I really wanted to talk about. Have you been paying attention to Bill Belichick?
I've been trying not to, but it's coming up. Go ahead.
Okay. So for those of you who do not know this, Bill Belichick is now the head football coach at the University of North Carolina. Now, here's the thing about working at UNC. It is a public institution, and you are susceptible to FOIA requests, and you have to turn over communication. And so what this means is we get Bill Belichick's emails, and what we learned early in this process is that Bill Belichick has requested that his 24-year-old girlfriend be copied on all emails that are sent to him. She has basically become, and this is what they say in her emails, she identifies herself as the chief operating officer of Belichick Productions, a company, by the way, that is not registered Like this shit it's a movie. It's some Legally Blonde type shit, man. Like she shows up, like she has been prepared and ready for this day her whole life. She is a beauty pageant type, right? Like she was a contestant for Miss Maine. She's showing up in all the fly gear and the boots and everything. And she's with him everywhere, making sure he's mic'd up properly. Like all of this stuff. It is the wildest thing to watch. Just it's Bill Belichick. Like we went to that joint at the Super Bowl when they pulled up together. He can't wait for you to. What they gave him the first meatball? Wasn't that the thing they did at that dinner? Or were you gone when they gave him the first meatball?
Yeah, I think I missed the presentation of the first meatball.
yeah. He cut open they brought him up to the front and he cut open the first meatball. But yeah, his woman is running his affairs, and boy, she ain't no joke. The Athletic got a hold of some emails. She's very concerned with like portrayal in the internet stuff. And so, I was talking to my guys in North Carolina about this, and I knew I was right. This is from Pro Football Talk Post. She sent an email and she said, is there anyone monitoring the UNC football page for slanderous commentary and subsequently deleting it / blocking users that are harassing BB in the comments? And the next day, Belichick wrote this. I cannot believe, okay, they were right. I cannot believe that UNC would support my being called a predator. She hopped up into emails to defend the idea that Steve Belichick is a product of nepotism. Quote, it can easily be misinterpreted that Steve is simply benefiting from nepotism, but that is not the case. Steve was fortunate to have learned defensive football strategy from the greatest defensive mind of all time. He has earned his position due to his performance and output. It is really worth emphasizing the point that Steve has the experience of being a college defensive coordinator and will bring a plethora of knowledge to the coaching staff. I believe being strategic about the depiction of Steve will prevent controversy and show utmost respect towards Steve's career, validates Bill's decision as a head coach to hire Steve. Yo, she is running this.
Bill he's doing it different than he has in the past. I think the reflex, and it might be the right reflex, is to think that means this ain't gonna work. There is an argument that maybe it is gonna work, but running a company that don't exist feels like some silliness. I mean, while the responses to the emails and that stuff suggest that she's on top of things. And maybe that's stuff that Bill Belichick wouldn't normally concern himself with. So it's nice to have someone doing that. But I don't walk away from all these latest things feeling more confident. Maybe I should, but I don't walk away feeling more confident. Not that I was I think my first reflex was like, yeah, Bill Belichick, hell of a coach. He's going to do well. And then I realized, and this is drawing from a little bit of my own experience, where like I started coaching my son's flag football team, and I'm like, man, I know more football than these idiots. Flag football is a different game. So I humbled myself. And I think the same thing is true for Bill, where it's like, all right, we assume Bill knows football so well, but college football is a different animal. And so that like made me hesitant of thinking how great he's going to be. And now the fact that he trying all this stuff that he would have never permitted him to happen in his organization is now just makes me concerned for where they go. Or maybe it's him showing a willingness to change. Maybe this will be the difference. He'll be winning a national championship in 5 years, and we'll say it's all because of his 24. Is she really 24? Like every time I hear it, it blows my mind.
24. Now, I would like to throw out here that just because a company isn't registered doesn't mean it does not exist. Bill Belichick is a company. Bill Belichick is a brand. She just needed a title. Right. Like she can't just put Jordan.
That's a good point.
I'm the chick he's sleeping with. Yeah. Right. Like that was insufficient. I get that. She gave herself something, but it sounds like, so one of my thoughts about why I wasn't sure that this was going to work, and I'm still not sure that it's going to work, is that coaching in the NFL, you're really just coaching.
Right.
Coaching in college is a lot more like hosting a big time television show. Like what I did not realize when I did game theory, what I didn't realize until I did game theory is the significant majority of my time was for not doing game theory, right? It's press stuff here. It's these meetings there, and all that stuff. But for Belichick and with college, it's meeting with boosters. It's doing these golf tournaments. You got to do a lot of glad hand and stuff. Like there's just a lot of stuff that's not doing the football. And she is like, nah, baby, don't you worry. Yeah. I got this under control, right? Where Deion Sanders got his son running the social stuff, right? Like he brought in his team of people. Nah, that's his team. his team is right there. And clearly, I want to hear some stories about how she grew up, because I don't know if she is any good at this, but she has fallen into the role immediately.
And it seems like a role that he needed, I guess.
Yes.
I feel like I'm coming around on this a little bit. It still don't feel right with me, but like it is a job that needs to be done. And it feels like players who show up to the league with their moms, whereas like there's a little bit about it that feels like, come on, man, hire a professional. But also, this person got your back.
Yeah. I mean, look, it is a touch embarrassing, right? Yeah. This is not a good look for him.
Would we feel different? Sorry, would we feel different if she was closer to age appropriate and she was just as involved? If she was 50,
yes,
and she was just involved.
The issue is the age part, right? Now, the defense of him, and I think this should be noted, and there's somebody who is probably listening to this podcast who will agree with what I'm saying here. Okay, I want you to go ask somebody who's elderly, because Bill Belichick, one could argue, is legitimately elderly, right? Go find somebody whose elderly father is dating a woman in her 20s, 30s, even 40s, okay? And you go ask them who they think the predator is. Just go ask them, right? I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I do know that there is I do not believe there is a consensus opinion in this discussion about for whom the age dynamic creates the role of predator and who creates the role of play. Because let me tell you something, Bill Belichick does not seem to be somebody who is doing the hunting anymore. Yeah. He seems like, you got me. Yeah. I've been tied up by love.
I don't. I'm sure. Well, never mind. I'm just gonna move right along.
Yeah. I don't even want to have to look. And look, maybe she tried to ingratiate herself to Steve when she sending them emails having Steve's back.
Yeah. The idea of prey or predator to me is never something I engage in with people who are able-bodied and of able mind and of legal age. Because Bill ain't stupid. No older man is stupid. And the younger women, they ain't stupid. What I would say though is there are some norms. And I was listening to your show talking about Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah.
And that's a situation where the norms have not been set, and they are currently trying to figure out what the norms are going to be. But in this situation, there are norms, and it's okay for us to look at Nico and say, hey, that's outside of what we believe are acceptable. It's okay for us to say that to Bill also. But Nico ain't break no laws. Bill ain't break no laws. Ain't nobody in this. It's not a secret. Predator and prey is I'm on her side with this. It's calling somebody a predator is... That's vicious. That's that harsh. Feels that's like you hanging out trying to get them. They happen to sit next to each other on the airplane, and Bill got stuff that she liked. She got stuff that Bill liked. Seemed like a fair trade. I don't need to get into it as long as nobody getting hurt.
Yeah, I hear you. By the way, check your phone. I just sent you something that'll make you laugh. Yo, I'm telling you, man, this is her chance. In the end, when this is all said and done, I want somebody to do some long I want to know all the things about her and at what point she looked and saw this and was like, watch how I flip this. I'm not saying she don't care about him. I'm not saying she don't. I'm not saying any of those things. But love has found her a chance to make things happen. Because let me tell you what she ain't never going to do after this. She ain't never going to deal with no broke boy ever again. She has now got her foot into a world of cats with this kind of paper who need this type of woman right here.
Or she might deal with only broke dudes. I don't know what she might do.
Oh, well, no. That depends. That would imply that she is embezzling from Bill Belichick in such a way that she will never need money again.
No, it's not. I'm not implying that at all. I'm saying that she is setting herself up in order to make her own money. She is making herself.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
If this goes well, Yeah,
hey, you and I both know this, right? We both seen enough to say this. Ain't no woman got so much money that she would not rather spend yours. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then you get somebody like the former Mrs. Bezos who seems to take great joy tricking off Jeff Bezos's money onto regular dudes.
Yeah, she I mean, I think the idea that she is amassing a level of experience and connections that she gonna be fine. Like, and the way we're talking about this is like it's a career because it has turned into a career, and it feels a little bit like
she's
we're
doing
saying,
a job,
right? It feels a little bit like we're saying that they're not in love or whatever. I'm not passing any judgment on that, but also along with that, she's become a real damn CEO of Belichick Industries or CEO, whatever the hell she is. Like she's actually doing some shit in college sports, in a place where the landscape is constantly changing. We don't know we're hiring GMs. We don't know all the roles that are going to be needed. She is redefining the role of coach's wife.
Hey, let me give you some suggestions of things that she could perhaps put on her business card. I'm the lights that keep the street on. You know what I'm saying? Like dimpling your necktie. That's her. That's her. She is here to upgrade you.
Yep.
Take me just to compliment the deal.
That is absolutely what she is doing. And I don't know, she got his back, it seems. So again, I don't got no issue with it. It seems pretty straightforward. Arrangement that it's like the words that I use make me feel bad because I'm calling it arrangement. Like they in a situation that seems to work fine for everybody.
It seems to work for everybody, but I can't think of a time that a coach's girlfriend or anything has been this visible a part of what they're doing. I just this is unprecedented as far as I can tell. And with the most unlikely person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, and most of the time we get the reluctant person who becomes a little bit more famous, and I guess she's kind of reluctant. No, not really, because I'm thinking about like Sark's wife, and like that's only a big deal.
Ain't no reluctance there.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not like in it. You know what I mean?
No. She just wants you to look at her fits.
Exactly. Which is entirely different. That's something that we're accustomed to. It's entirely different. I don't imagine that she is policing the social media of Texas or or defending his coach hiring.
No. She is only defending his fits. The one that he wore to the game, that was the same as hers. I want to say this right fast before we get out of here. But speaking of Nico, the other Nico.
Oh, nope.
There's no coming back from this, brother.
He making it hard, bro. He making it real hard for me, man. It's like my man Terry Fontenot down in Atlanta, which he's not actually my man, but he made that draft pick last year, Penix, that I defended.
Yes.
And I felt like it was pretty easy to defend while everyone was bashing him, and come around to this time of year where people are like, wasn't such a bad choice. This Nico thing is like, I find it interesting to try to figure out what he's thinking, why it makes sense. The problem is I cannot use my superior intellect to defend, to construct an argument that makes it seem like you got some sense if you keep opening your damn mouth and displaying to us that you ain't got no sense.
Y'all still don't have a better line than defense wins championships. Like that doesn't work anymore. That's also a very football thing, but that doesn't you've been workshopping that line and it has not worked. It hasn't. Y'all went too far on the Luka tribute. The bottom line is they have to fire him, but he can't quit and they can't really fire him. Right? They've got to let this play out to a degree, but he can never, they are so mad. He can never recover from this. And then trying to do the interview setup and you didn't have anything to say.
It goes back to when they first did it and they had the opening press conference. You can't look like that in the press conference. Like perception matters. And goes back to Bill's girlfriend. She knows that the perception matters. Why don't Nico? Why don't he know?
Either this is what it comes down to me. Whether the stuff was true or not, either you showed up to destroy his professional reputation or you needed to shut up. Those are your only options. Like the only way that you could justify to people that you were going to make this trade. And I still contend the guy that's been the people that have been around this guy the most decided it wasn't worth it. I think that matters for something. But you need to make that point very clearly in some way. And if it makes him look bad, you just decided it was worth trading him. Right? So something has to not be right here.
I think honestly that when you get in a situation like this where your decision is so unpopular, you can't try to convince people, particularly with bullshit cliches.
No.
Like you just say, it's like, look, he was onto something when he said, like, part of my job is not being liked. I have to make tough decisions. I've made then you continue it to like, I've made a calculation that I think this is better for us in the long run. We will all see. Defense wins championships? Shut up.
But on top of that, I don't think he gets this. And I think that people misunderstand this. Fans would like their teams to win championships. But if they required it, most of these teams wouldn't have any fans. It's not that simple. Is it everybody's goal in running an organization? Probably. But if there's any conclusion that I've drawn, and I've seen some people say this, I would say that most of those Mavs fans would rather not win a championship with Luka Doncic than win one without him. They love him that much, right? Like he's their guy. They love him that much. And that's where they messed up. Like to me, it isn't even about the haul. It isn't about any of that other stuff. Mm-hmm. It was these people will not abide by what you have done. And on some level, they understood that those people wouldn't abide by it because they haven't even bothered truly wasting time impugning his character. I see people say, well, we don't like the leaks that are coming out. No. If they wanted to, they could make Luka, without being wrong, without being factually incorrect, they could make him look a lot worse. They haven't done that. So if you weren't willing to do that, then what in the world were you doing here? Because they would rather lose with him than win without him.
And I mean, lose is a strong word. They would rather sniff around the title because they was never going to lose with him. They rather sniff around, consistently make the playoffs because everybody make the playoffs with him than win a championship without him, which is, it sounds crazy to say, but I think it's probably the relationship that they have is not with the logo, it's with the player.
The fun of rooting for a sports team is not simply about the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, the fans are not the players. You're not out here grinding in the off season and going through a grueling 82 games for the payoff of the playoffs. No, the experience goes all the way through that. They like watching them shoot them shots. They like watching them, they a little tired of him cussing at the referees and stuff, but it ain't Anthony Davis can't do nothing that make them feel the way that Luka made them feel. And I remember the first day that I came on and talked about this after it happened. I had to remember I quit the Falcons over Domonique, and Domonique was 34. He was 34 and coming off an Achilles tear.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
An Achilles tear. Back then.
Right. What a wild thing. What a wild move for you to make, but not understanding or realizing this was how it was going to make the people feel.
He don't care about that. But I mean, people have made the point that he's taken a lot of the heat for a decision that I'm sure was a joint decision, which I guess is part of his job. Like the owners don't do this without him involved. The head coach don't do this without him involved. He doesn't do this without the head coach's involvement, but he keep coming out and showing his face. And did he look goofy before? Or is this a result of it happening because every time, or is it the pictures that they choose? Because he always kind of looked kind of goofy, man. And that hurts.
I just know that before he got that job, and even while he had that job, where he helped them get to the NBA Finals 10 months ago, okay, the opinion of Nico Harrison was very high.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I'm going to tell you, when we done, I'm going to tell you what my college coach told my college defensive coordinator told us after we had a bad game. That's what it was about. How you can put in all your work to be considered one thing, but you get caught doing one bad thing or one not so popular thing one time, and then your nickname change.
I think you know it, and so I think I know this, and so I will tell a version of this that I have heard, and it sounds similar to what you were talking about. And there was a story of a young man, and he was with his grandfather, and they were walking around this island, and his grandfather says, "You see our house? Yes, I built our house. But do they call me a home builder?" And he says, "No." He says, "Look out there. You see that boat at the harbor? There's a ship. I built that ship. Do they call me a shipbuilder?" And he says, "No." And he says, "You see that fence? The people came, they invaded, and I built the fence to keep them away. But do they call me fence builder?" He says, "No, grandfather. But you fuck one goat."
Yeah. I'm sorry.
One goat. And that is Domonique Foxworth, who has not had sex with a goat, as far as I know. Check him out on the Domonique Foxworth Show. Available where all fine podcasts are sold and given away for free, even podcasts about making love to goats. My brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man.
And ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 3 times a week. That's Sean, you behind the scenes, handling everything. Thank you, sir. Also, hit our voicemail line, 323-596-7767. I cut Domonique off, but tell us the funniest thing you've ever heard a coach say. 323-596-7767. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. Talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.